Um, the Bible verse, Jeremiah 11:11. Let's just start there really fast. That means, in the Bible, behold, I shall bring evil upon them which they shall not be able to escape, and though they shall cry to me, I will not hearken unto them. Some pretty scary shit. Again, kind of pointing to, on the horror level, it's just some scary shit. On a subliminal level, I do believe what Jordan Peele is trying to get out there is that, as you can see, that this quote unquote God will put evil upon his creation and his children, and as a punishment, and will ignore them. I think what he's trying to tell you is that the paradigm of religion is shattered. It's almost no more need for it in this age of information where you can cross-reference and find your own path. I think that that's what he's trying to convey here on the subliminal level. On the horror level of this movie, remember, this is just, if you're just in the movie watching this as a horror flick, it's okay. It's all right. It's very refreshing to see black people in this aspect, because we don't really get to see it like that. I mean, Tales from the Hood or something like that, but we don't really get to see it like that. So, it's okay. But subliminally, what was going on in the movie was big. We're referencing all through the movie that the real us are Moorish in this country, in the United States. The melanated man is Moorish. And just so you don't think that I'm just making this shit up, all through the movie, there's Moorish references, okay? The first scene that we see of Moorish clues is, again, in the beginning when the dad is going to win the prize, the Michael Jackson shirt, okay? We see that the guy running the game, no, it's when the dad is hitting the little Gophers. The guy that's running the game is wearing a Black Flag t-shirt. We see this a couple of times in the movie. This is how you know it's not a coincidence. He's wearing a Black Flag t-shirt, and then there's red writing. Again, every time you see the red, it's a direct talking to us. This is who you are. Black flags were actually used by the Moorish pirates as they sailed and populated and civilized the world. Okay. We also see the Black Flag t-shirt pop up again in the beach scene with the two twins. One of the twins was wearing a Black Flag t-shirt. Again, throwing it out there. What is Black Flag? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's a rock band, but in reality, he's saying something else. To further drive the point home, another point on the beach scene, the mom, the white mom, she's reading a magazine, and she turns the page, and the page is slightly twisted to where you can see it, and there's an Indian, a Native American there, and she says, "Oh, isn't this so pretty?" And then Adelaide says, "Oh, yeah, sure. Why is she saying this Native American is pretty? Again, and I'll touch on this when I get to who are the white family in this video. This is the admiration of the real true Americans, the real true Moors, or indigenous people of this land, which is us, and the envy of it. Okay, that's what that represented. Fast forwarding back to when the family met their shadow tethers. Okay, I know I'm probably going quick, but I'll try to slow down a little bit. When the shadow met their family tethers, Adelaide was giving this speech, and in the speech she was saying, that the pretty girl met her Prince Charming, while the shadow girl was forced with Abraham. The pretty girl had a firstborn. The shadow girl had a girl who smiled too much. Some shit she said like that. It was hella funny. And then she said the pretty girl had a son that wasn't naturally born and taken from her stomach or something like that. And she said, and the shadow girl had to rip the baby out herself. Now this is key. This is key. Now we finna get into the deep shit. This explains the mirroring between Adelaide and Red. Okay? And the son, Jason and Adelaide, and the son, Pluto and Red. As you can see, these two characters had very strong bonds. Like weird bonds. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to get into that part yet. I think I'm going to wait. But this is where we first see that there's a different kind of bond between Adelaide, Jason, and Red and Pluto. I don't want to get into that yet. I'll get into that in a little bit, not just yet. One thing that I noticed in the beginning of the movie was Adelaide, the young Adelaide, when she was walking on the boardwalk with her parents, that the father seemed a little off. He troubled me. I didn't like his character. It was something about his character that was off. But it wasn't until the third time that I watched it that it made sense what they were doing. They were implementing little clues that there could have been possibly. Now this is kind of getting kind of deep. That it could have been possibly some type of abuse from the father in some form. I don't know what kind, but it was something. And I didn't like what I was hearing. Because remember, everything you see in the movie is for a reason. Nothing is there on accident. Nothing. Okay? Well, the sun is setting, so there's blind marks across my face. Don't worry about that. We're going to push through that. It's all right. Stick with me. We're almost there. So, so the father says something. He says, when Adelaide's walking behind him, he says, hey Adelaide, you want to ride on the Big Dipper? What? What? And then the mom says, oh, she's too small for that. What? That's what I'm saying. These are things that hit the subconscious mind that you don't really understand, but it gives you this automatic disdain. You don't know why you feel it because you didn't pick up on it, but I picked up on it. Well, I heard it and I felt it, but I didn't understand why. Then later, again, when he's playing the fucking gopher game, the mom says, she stops and she's standing behind them. And she stops for a second. She collects herself. And then she says, Adelaide, don't you want to go to the bathroom? Come to the bathroom with me. Then Adelaide says, I don't want to go. And she's just staring at her dad. You know what I'm saying? And then the mom feels a little defeated. And she stays there for a second. And then she's like, oh, okay. Well, could you watch her? And the dad's like, yeah. Second clue. Third clue is that when they were in the psychiatrist's office and they're saying, well, we don't know what happened to her. Anything could have happened to her. The mom says that. And then the dad says, I just want my daughter back. And he said, I can't take this. I need to smoke. Again, he has some type of addiction problem, drinking or smoking or something. And then he gets up. And then when he walks over to Adelaide, he stands there for a second and kind of touches her in this weird way and then walks off. So there's some implication there. And I think the reason why this was in the movie was to actually hit the second level of the subliminal. Because this is an issue that hits home with a lot of families, especially families in the African American community, of sexual abuse, rape, assault, especially on our young women. And like I said, Jordan Peele does a lot of things to tap in subliminally and say shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is one of those ones to where he hit levels 1 and level 2. All right. The 5. Let's go ahead and talk about the 5. What did the 5 mean? When did we keep seeing this 5? The first time that we seen reference to the number 5 is at the beginning when they showed the cage of rabbits. They were all white rabbits. Remember I told you how white rabbits are clones, pretty much, so to speak. And then they had these black rabbits. The 3 black rabbits were in the shape of a V. V is 5. That's the first time that we've seen the 5. Okay? So again, he's talking to us and saying, this is about y'all, or this is about us. When we keep seeing the 5, let me go ahead and read from my notes here. Let's see. When we see the 5, see. The black rabbits were positioned in a V representing the 5. The 5 was shown in the movie multiple times by the mother, Adelaide, raising her hand initially when she met the tethers, the shadow tethers. When she met the shadow tethers, she said to Red, she did like this. She had her hand up. She said, wait, don't hurt them. Take me. Something like to that effect. But she threw up the 5. This keeps happening throughout the movie. Also, we see Adelaide throwing up the 5 at the end when she saves the son out of the bottom of the ship. She threw up the 5, and it was all bloody red. Again, throwing up the 5. Well, every time we see this 5, it's a sign of the 5th element, the love that I spoke about earlier, the love and the will and the power of the unit of the family. For example, when they were in the car driving to they were driving to the beach, and I Got 5 on it came on, right? This was symbolizing that they were all together, all 4 of the elements were together to create the one, which is really the 5th element, the love, the will.